ಇದು ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈವ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈವ್ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಲೈವ್. ನಾನು ಏನು ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. Done. Can see live. Others also can see live. ಏನು ಬಂದಿದ್ಯಾ? ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ನಾನು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ನೋಡು. ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಇದು ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲಲ್ಲ. Come whatever I am going to display now, that is going to come now. Is it coming now? Yeah. Not doing right. But you are able to see my face is. I want to show the screen also. This screen. ಬರಲಿಲ್ಲ. You can see that. Share ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ. Okay, okay, okay. ಇದು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಲೈವ್ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸಿ ದ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್. ನಾನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದು ಗ್ಲೋಬಲಿ ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ. ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಲೈವ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಓವರ್ ಇಂಡಿಯಾ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸಿ ದಟ್. Okay, shall we start? Yeah, yeah. ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ರೆಡಿನಾ? Business law. Today we'll start up with business law. So what is Indian Contract Act? Let us understand the history. ಏನೇನು ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? What are we going to study? ಹಾಕು. ಇಲ್ಲ ನಿದ್ದೆ ಬರೋಂಗ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ. ಊಟ ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಕಷ್ಟ. So today we will be discussing on the Indian Contract Act. It's a very important chapter. Uh, First thing we are going to study the meanings and the registration ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅವ್ರು ಮೊನ್ನೆ. Some 9,600 rupees they are going to collect. ಹೇಳಾಯ್ತಾ? So Indian Contract Act 1872. What all we are going to study in this? Nature of contract. Contract ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. This we used to study in final, BCom final level. We are going to study in your foundation. Contract means what? Easier. Next, agreement ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? Agreement. What is the meaning of the word agreement? Yes, everything will be discussing. ಏನೇನು ಓದ್ತೀವಿ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ I'm just giving you an idea. We are going to study about contract. Contract we are going to study. The essential elements of contract. ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಏನೇನು important elements should be there. We are going to study each and everything. We are going to study. This is the third part. What are the different various types of contracts we have? There are so many types of contract: void contract, valid contract, voidable contract, illegal contracts. Those things, so many contracts which we are going to discuss. All those contracts will be discussing. Okay, these are the contents we are going to discuss. I'm giving you an idea. Concept of offer. Offer and ಏನು? We are going to study the word offer. We are going to study the word acceptance. Rule of communication. Communication ಯಾವ ತರ ಕೊಡಬೇಕು? We are going to study that. Next, revocation of communication. How we are going to revoke means cancellation of the communication. See, I send a WhatsApp message. Tomorrow is a class at 11 a.m. Okay, this is a communication. How are you going to communicate? Revocation means a class illa annadike yav tara communicate ಮಾಡೋದು. This is one example I'm giving. Revocation of communication. How are you going to cancel the earlier communication? Revocation means cancelling. How we are going to nullify that earlier transaction. That is what we are going to study. Okay. This is all the main content which we are going to discuss in this chapter, Indian Contract Act of 1872. It's a very interesting chapter. Very important. Everybody should know. ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೇಬೇಕಾದಂತಹ ಒಂದು ಸಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಟ್. Especially commerce is a mandatory. Now let us get into the chapter one by one. Indian Contract. ಅದಲ್ಲೇ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲೈಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. Separate and a mercantile law, commercial law. Now this is all theory based. Okay, history we should need. You need to say it's a valid question. What he told is whether we need to solve any problems like accountancy. We need to solve any problem. Sir, this is not a problem based paper. This is a theory based paper, and you have to write. Like we need to give more case laws. See, they will give a situation whether it is correct or wrong. You need to apply the law and you have to communicate. This is what they are expecting from you. This is not a problem solving paper. I'm making very clear to all of you. This is not a problem solving paper. This is a theory paper. It's a subjective paper and the Borionta paper. It's not like solving a calculators, nothing we are going to use. Only thing we need to is analytical skills with reference to the law. So law ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅದನ್ನ ನಾವು fulfill ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ yes it is correct. If you don't fill any one of the conditions, say you should not, it is not applicable, it's not possible. You have to give the conclusion. See, in case of theory paper, business law paper, how are you going to answer it? They will give a case study. Mr. X has proposed to a girl, B. Okay. This is just an offer ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ or a proposal. There you have to say whether all these conditions, section 2A, ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದೆ Indian Contract Act ಎಲ್ಲ fulfill ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನೋಡಬೇಕು. You need to test whether all these conditions laid down in section 2A of the Indian Contract Act considered as an offer, whether all the conditions have been satisfied. There may be a framing a case study, they will just remove one point and they set a frame question. The author answer ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ first you should refer the case section, which is the reference section he is referring. In this particular example, we are referring to section 2A of the Indian Contract Act. Offer first new definition ಬರೀಬೇಕು. So for that you should know the definition by heart. That you should be able to reproduce as it is what is there in the act. You cannot use the word a extra ಹಾಕೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ the ತೆಗೆಯೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಏನೇನಿದೆಯೋ ಹಾಗಾಗೆ ಬರೀಬೇಕು. Okay, this is like something you need to by heart. You have to just reproduce what is there in the act. Same thing you have to reproduce that. This is no way. and they'll set a frame a question in such a way that any one of the condition they'll remove it. For example, offer one proposal ಯಾವ ತರ ಆಫರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಉದಾಹರಣೆ ಒಂದು ತೆಗೆದು ಒಂದು ಸೆಟ್ ಮಾಡಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಎ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ fulfilling XYZ conditions as per the Indian contract, whether these conditions are satisfied, whether it is a valid contract, all a valid offer, yes or no. First new section ಬರೀತೀರಾ section 2A ಪ್ರಕಾರ this is what the definition given in the Indian contract. Offer ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಆ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ ಏನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಕೇಳಿದಾನಲ್ಲ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಹಾಗೆ ಬರೀತೀರಾ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಮಿಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಬಿ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಕಂಡೀಷನ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದ 3 conditions he has not satisfied the 4th condition. You have to write that. Finally, you have to say conclusion because of with reference to the section 2A, Mr. A has not fulfilled the condition D, which is referred in section 2A. So this is not a valid offer. You have to conclude like that. First, what is the starting point? You have to define what is there in the act. You have to reproduce what is there exactly words by word. You have to reproduce. So you have to know by heart every section 2A ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರಿಬೇಕು ಹಾಗೆ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಮತ್ತೆ ಕೇಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ಏನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೋ ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪ್ರಪೋಸ್ ಟು ಮಿಸ್ಟರ್ ಬಿ ಏನೇನ್ ಮಾಡಿದಾನೆ ಹಾಗೇ ಬರಿಬೇಕು. ಫೈನಲ್ ಆಗಿ conclusion or you have to say remarks or conclusion. There you have to say with reference to the section 2A, Mr. A has not fulfilled certain XYZ condition with reference to the section 2A. So we say that this is not a valid offer. If he has fulfilled all the 4 conditions, see it's a valid offer, it is correct. The case study is correct. This is how the theory based what you are, I am answering for your question. There will be no question like problem solving, nothing will be there. This is a direct question. So you should know section by section. Only important sections we are going to discuss. Okay? Not all the sections very important wise offer and acceptance. We study Indian contract, we are going to study agreement and contract and valid contracts, different types of contracts and what is agreements. All those things one by one, each and everything we need to discuss. Okay, questions will be directly taken as what I gave an example, case study based example. Okay, you have to write. This is the only option you have. Now let us get into the history of the Indian contract. You need to know some stories will be there, right? Today we are seeing this ad. It is not the sudden, there are so many changes, multiple changes which has happened, and it has come to this product. We need to understand the evolution or the beginning of the story. Yav tara iduna illi bandu nilsidare anta. We knowing the history. Any subject first we know have understanding of the history. Then only will come to know what is the impact. Yav tara idadu ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Clear? Now let us get into the history part. Ancient and medieval period. Andre for example, we have Maurya dynasty, Stone Age, ಆ ಥರ ಒಂದು ಕಾಲದ ರಾಜರು ಮಹಾರಾಜರು ಇದ್ರಲ್ಲ ಆಗಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಥರ ದಿಸ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾಪನ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದ ಬಿಗಿನಿಂಗ್. ಸ್ಟೋನ್ ಏಜ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆದಿಮಾನವದಿಂದ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಓನ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ದೇ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟೆಡ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಸಮ್ ನಾಲೆಜ್, ಲೈಕ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸಮ್ sort of what you can say kings, they used to start ruling. Now that time onwards they started getting into implication. So let us get into the ancient period and medieval period. There was no specific law. Our Indian contract anta ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. There was nothing like law. See, there were some Hindu law. We used to follow Hindu law, Mohammedan law, lawಗಳೆಲ್ಲ ಬಂದಿತ್ತು. ಆಮೇಲೆ we used to refer certain Vedas, Shastras, and we used to read Shrutis, Smritis. These are the words from where we used to Puranas, all those things like because the Papa Punyana. We do something good deed, we'll get some good. If you do things bad, which will get bad acts. So ಅದನ್ನ ನೀವು ಇದರಿಂದ ನಾವು ಕಲ್ತ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. ಒಂದು ವೇದಾಸ್ ಇಂದ ಧರ್ಮಶಾಸ್ತ್ರಾಸ್. These are the sources from where ancient and medieval period used to refer the law. Shrutis, Smritis, ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಸೋರ್ಸಸ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು ಮುಂಚೆ. Next, Mauryas in the form of bilateral transactions. This is how they started the ancient. ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. This is ancient and medieval period ಆಯಿತು. Next, Mughal dynasty, when the Mughals when they started invading India, so they when the Mughal dynasty started invading India, they brought some law called as Mohammedan law of contract. They started this. Okay, this is what they introduced. They used to call in Arabic words. They are known as AQD ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಮ್ಮ ಅದು ಯಾಕಂದ್ರೆ AQD ಅದೇನೋ ಅರಬಿಕ್ ಭಾಷೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ತಲ್ಲ. Conjunction means ಅಕ್ಕ ಅಕ್ it's a conjunction. The contract which means conjunction means ಎರಡು ಜನ. In the same word, hijab, use the proposal, propose. Another hijab, that's a proposal word, right? They use the word Arabic word, that is all I don't know. Hijab, 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 proposal, 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 right? These are the Mohammedan law says. ಏನದ hijab, L I L L, hijab, hijab means proposal, proposal. Next, Kabul, Kabul, right? Kabul. That's acceptance. The word used, the word acceptance. Kabul is an acceptance. So this is the as per Mohammedan law. After the ancient and medieval period, next comes the Mughal rule. So they used to use these type of words, Arabic words, okay, for forming the contracts. Historical ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿರ್ಬೇಕು ನೀನು ಇವಾಗ ಸಡನ್ ಆಗಿ 1872 ಓದ್ಬೋದು ನಾನು. Once you know some background of history, how it came into picture, you'll get clarity with it. That is why I'm giving the historical background. So then Mughal dynasty came, they started using Arabic words. So this is how the law came into picture. Next, Hindu law bantu. The Hindu law is basically different from that of English law. Hindu law is actually a compilation of so many customs and works of Britikaras. ಏನಂದ್ರೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ರೈಟರ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬರೆದ್ರು ಲೈಕ್ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ resourceful people like Rishi, Munis, they are all writing. They are called Hindu law. Vedas, we took the reference of Vedas, Shastras, so many Shrutis, Smritis we have taken into references. According to Narada Smriti, one of up to the age of 8 is considered as an infant. Our Shastra Prakara, Narada Shastra Prakara, up to 8 years he is called as an infant, Balyavaste. 8 to 16 years it is considered as a boyhood. And 16 and above is competent to enter into a contract. More than 16 years he is considered to be a competent person to get into a contract. Okay. See, ಒಬ್ಬ ಮೈನರ್ ಜೊತೆ ನಾವು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ. There is a violation. This is one of the conditions to fulfill a valid contract. He should not be a party, he should not be a minor. So as per Narada Smriti, our rule prakara, 8 ವರ್ಷಕ್ಕಿಂತ ಕಮ್ಮಿ ಇರೋನ್ಗೆ he is considered as boy, or below less than 8 years he is considered as infant. Above 8 years to 16 years he is considered to be as boyhood. Next, above 16 years he is eligible to enter into a contract. Okay, ಅವಾಗಿನ ಕಾಲದ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪ್ರಕಾರನೂ ಇದೆ, ನಮ್ದು ಇವಾಗ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ only a major can enter into a contract. So this was there old also, now we are continuing the same principle. Okay, this is the background. Now coming to the British, how the British brought their system of British the advent of Indian Contract Act, the English law. Sir, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೆ ಮೂರು ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಇತ್ತು. ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆನ್ಸಿ ಆಫ್ Madras, Presidency of Bombay, Presidency of Kolkata. These are the three presidencies. What directly? Presidency means where directly the Queen is controlling. Okay, direct principles. Our ಏನು ಕಾನೂನು ಇದೆ ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಪ್ಲೈ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಅದಲ್ಲ presidencies ಅಂದ್ರೆ directly which is governed by the Elizabeth Queen. She has to direct that. ಅವ್ರು ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೋ ಅದೇ ಕಾನೂನು. Direct interaction with them. Anything outside these three presidencies, we used to follow other laws. I'll tell you what are those. We used to follow, what are the laws? In any of the either of the religion or the other in the form of religion, defendant is used. See, our ಏನು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರು ಅಂತ justice, ನ್ಯಾಯ, ನೀತಿ, ಧರ್ಮ. They used to follow these three principles out of these three presidencies. They used to follow this nyaya, justice, equality, and good conscience. Outside these presidencies, they used to use this is the principle or other than presidencies. Okay, this procedure was followed till the Indian Contract Act was get involved. Indian Contract Act anta bandittu 1872 li. Till that time, they used to follow these type of rules. Now, once the advent of the Hosa Kanun, they thought we should have a uniformity because some part of the country is using presidency rules, direct queen is controlling. Some other part of the country is ruled by some three principles. I think we don't have a uniformity. Let us have uniformity. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಒಂದೇ ಕಾನೂನು ಎಲ್ಲ ದೇಶದಾದ್ಯಂತ. We need to have equal norm uniformity. Let us have. So in the year 25th April 1872, 25th of April 1872, they introduced this contract called Indian law that's called as Indian Contract Act. This is called as Indian Contract Act. This was established under Yavagiva Kanun Daito 25th of April 1872. This was the law which they formed and which came into force is on 1st of September 1872. Finally, the Queen has to certify, right? Previously. So, in the month of 1st September 1872, this law came into effective. Earlier, it was a bill, it went to the presidency, ಅದು Queen ಹತ್ರ ಹೋಯಿತು. Finally, she has sealed on 1st September ಇಂದ ಈ ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ Indian Contract Act ಅಂತ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಯಿತು. Clear? Historical background of 1872 Indian Contract Act. Clear? Now, ಈ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಅನ್ನ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ದೇ ಆರ್ ಬ್ರೇಕಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಇಂಟು ಟೂ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1, section 1 to section 75. They are broadly classifying this contract act into two parts. Section 1 to 75. Okay, I'll read that. This is divisible into two parts. The first part is section 1 to 75 deals with the general principle of law of contract. ಎರಡು ತರ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಈ ಭಾಗ. ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಏನಮ್ಮ ನಂಬರ್ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇಟ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 1 ಟು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 75 ಎಲ್ಲ ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಓದ್ಬೇಕು. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ. 75 ಟು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 124 ಸಾರಿ ಏನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಸಬ್ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಅದು ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಪಾನ್ ದ ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಆವರೇಜ್ 3 to 4 ಇರುತ್ತೆ. 4 124 to. So this section 1 to 75 we call it as general principle of law contract. General principle of law of contract. General principle of law of contract. In short word, GPLC. General principle of law of contract. GPLC. Next comes the section 124 to 238. Special kind of contracts. We call it as special kind of contracts. Kind of contracts. What are the special kind? ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ indemnity, which we are going to discuss this also. Indemnity and guarantee. Indemnity and guarantee. Second, bailment. Bailment ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, bail. Have you heard about the word bail? Bail. Have you heard about the word bail? So there is a separate section bail. Bail ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೋದು ಅಂತ. ಜೈಲಿಂದ ಈಚೆ ಕರ್ಕೊಂಡ್ ಬರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, bail. This is a ಇಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿರ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. These are the terms which you are using. Guarantee ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರೋದು, indemnity. These are the words which we will be discussing in special contracts. Then we will say about pledge. Next, agency. Pledge ಎಲ್ಲ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಬೆಳಿಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಪ್ಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಓದ್ತೀನಿ. ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ, ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಡ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೋದು ಈ ವರ್ಡ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ ಅಂತ? ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೇಳಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ, ಇವಾಗ LPG ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ, HP or Indian ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ ಏಜೆನ್ಸಿ. Have you heard of somewhere there is agency? That is agent. Agency means you are acting on behalf of somebody. Principal. Agency is like you are representing one person. See, you are not a, for example, HP gas agency you are taking. You are just acting. Principal is your HP. You are acting on behalf of your principal. Agency. These are the which will be discussed in detail. Detail wise we have to study. There is a separate provision for that. These are considered as special contracts. So, what we have studied is Indian Contract Act of 1872 came into picture from 1st of September 1872. 1872 1st September ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಶಾಸನ ಆಗಿದ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಯಾವತ್ತು ಡೇಟ್ 25th of April ಆಯಿತು. ಬಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ 1st September 1872, the day when it came into picture. Actually important. ಸೈನ್ ಯಾವಾಗ ಆಗ್ತಾರೆ ಪ್ರೆಸಿಡೆಂಟ್ ಆ ಡೇಟ್ ಇಂದನೇ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತದೆ. ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಕೇಮ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ಪಿಕ್ಚರ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 1st of September 1872. ಈ ಇಂಡಿಯನ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಕ್ಟ್ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು. We have broadly classified into two parts. One is General Principle Law of Contract, GPLC. GPLC, General Principle of Law of Contract. Section 1 ರಿಂದ 75, 1 to 75 is going to discuss on GPLC. What is GPLC? General Principle of Law of Contract. Okay, generally, ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ it's a general terms we are going to discuss. Next comes a special kind of contracts. Special kind of contracts, section 124 to 238. Section 124 to 238. These are the sections which we are going to study, especially certain areas which are very important. Special kind of contracts. First is indemnity and guarantee. Second is bailments. Third is, what is that? Pledging. Moornedu agency. Okay, whatever we are discussing, it is going live in YouTube also. The people can see all over India also. Whatever I am discussing, they are lively, it is going recorded. This I will get recorded also. It will be posted in my YouTube channel also. Like, it's going live. What we are discussing is going live. Okay. So this is all about section 124 to 238. Clear? Any doubt in so far? So far so good, right? Any day? So far so good. So far so happy. Happening, no? It's happening. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿವರೆಗೂ ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದುವರಿಸ್ಲಾ? ಚಲಿ ಪ್ರೊಸೀಡ್. Now coming to the important item. What is contract? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿರೋ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಪ್ಪ? One and all of us, I will give the opportunity to come out with their ideas. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. What do you know about contract? You know? Okay. Next. Junior madam. What is contract ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಏನು? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ಗೆ? ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಒಪ್ಪಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. What do you know? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನ್ಸಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. You just go on telling something. What you see, you get some idea. Whatever you know, you tell. I want to know what is that you know about from this word. ಒಪ್ಪಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನಂತಾರೆ? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಂತೀರಾ? ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಮೀನ್ಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಬ್ಬರ ನಡುವೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕ ಒಡಂಬಡಿಕೆಗಳು, ಒಪ್ಪಂದಗಳು. This is right. This is what they say. ಒಪ್ಪಂದ means something which is happening between two parties. ಈ ಇಬ್ಬರು ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ನಡುವೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ಸ್. The words which is happening. This is called as ಒಪ್ಪಂದ or contract. Next, what do you know? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಹೋಗಿ. I want to know. I want you to speak. So let us have interactive session. See, I want to know what is your depth of knowledge. Let it be same. ಹಂಗಂತ ಕಾಪಿ ಪೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ಸಿ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್ ವಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. You tell, when you are given the opportunity to speak, you should speak. Pardon? Don't see her. You tell what you know. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಯ್ತು ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ, ಆ ಹುಡುಗಿ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು. ಲೆಟ್ ಹರ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕ್. You hold रहा, आपको हो गया. You talk. नहीं, you tell, जो भी है you tell. Okay. Whatever language, if you feel comfortable in Kannada, ಏನಾದ್ರು तो ಹೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ. See, the ultimate end result should be win-win. Both of us should, end of the day, we should have a positive impact. Let it be. See, language is only a medium for us. The objective here is to win-win situation. आपको भी पास होना है, मुझे भी पास होना है. We are coming here or sitting here for 1 hour. There should be end result should be positive, right? ವಿಷಯ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಬೇಕು ನನಗೆ. ಲ್ಯಾಂಗ್ವೇಜ್ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆಗಲಿ. ಹಿಂದಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಇಸ್ ಓಕೆ ಫಾರ್ ಮೀ. ಹಿಂದಿ, ಕನ್ನಡ, ಭಯ, English is also okay. Anything is okay. But I want you to understand the concepts. I want you to speak out in the class. Tell me, madam. ಹೇಳಿ. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅನಿಸ್ತು? ಒಪ್ಪಂದ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಅಥವಾ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿಂದಿಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಏನಂತಾರೆ ಹಿಂದಿಲಿ? हिंदी क्या बोलते हैं? हिंदी में कॉन्ट्रैक्ट के लिए नहीं, हिंदी में एक वर्ड है. समझौता हो सकता है, इट्स राइट वर्ड। हाँ, हिंदी में है एक वर्ड। You just think, you get back to me in the next class. Huh? Just talk to your sir. Let us know what is the right English word for, sorry, Hindi word for contract. ಹಾ, ನೀ ಹೇಳಿ, ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಾ? ಅಲ್ಲ, ಇದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಇಬ್ರು ಮನುಷ್ಯರ ನಡುವೆ ನಡೆಯುವಂತಹ ವ್ಯಾವಹಾರಿಕ ಸಂಬಂಧಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ? ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಮ್ಮ, ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಯು ಟೆಲ್, ವಾಟ್ ಡು ಯು ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್? ನೀವು ಕೇಳಿರ್ತೀರಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು, ರೈಟ್? एक नया कुछ वर्ड सीख रहा है क्या? ये नया क्या क्या कॉन्ट्रैक्ट इज इट ए न्यू वर्ड फॉर यू? You have been listening from so many times from your childhood, contract. हाँ, ಹೇಳ ರಜಾ. हाँ, ಅಗಡ್ ಸಿ ಯು ನೋಡಿ, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಇದು. ಅಡಿಗೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಯಾವ್ದೋ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಾ, ಯು ಕಂಡಕ್ಟ್ ಸಮ್ ಬಿಗ್ ಫಂಕ್ಷನ್. ಹಾ, ಇವಾಗ ಹಾಸ್ಟೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಕಿಚನ್ ಕೇಟರಿಂಗ್ ಅವರು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ರು. ಈಸ್ ಯೂಸಿಂಗ್ ದ ವರ್ಡ್ ವಿಚ್ ಏನಮ್ಮ, ಏನ? ಹಾ, ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಏನ? ರೋಡ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್. ಇವಾಗ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ರೋಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಕೇಳಿದಿರಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ವರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಟೆಲಿಂಗ್ ಯು ವೇರ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್. ಏನ? Marriage is a contract only. No, it's between a husband and a wife. We are getting into a contract. It's a legal contract only, right? Correct, correct. We both will stay together. We produce something. We'll do something to the society, and good will good do something. This is what we are getting into a contract, right? Next, yeah, tell me. ನೀನು ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಏನು ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ ಇದೆಯಾ? ನಿನ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಅರ್ಥ? ನಿಜವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಮಿ ಲೌಡರ್. ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಪರ್ಚುನಿಟಿ ಟು ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಫ್ರೀಡಮ್. ಹೇಳು ಹೇಳು. ಸಿ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಶಿ ಆಡ್ ಎ ನ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಆರ್ ಯು ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡ್? ಶೀಟಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೆಯೋದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಆ ಹುಡುಗಿ. ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಎ ವೆರಿ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಟು ಡಾಕ್ಯುಮೆಂಟ್. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನ ನಾವು ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ವಿ ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಇಟ್ ಇನ್ ಟು ರೈಟಿಂಗ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ಟೆಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಅ ವ್ಯಾಲಿಡ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಐ ಅಕ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ವರ್ಡ್. Writing, and you have to get it signed also. It's a valid, two important points she writes. Perfectly right. Next, a legal document. It can be any type. Rent. I stay in a house where I get it documented by landlord. Okay, I pay you XYZ amount every month. I use the electricity bill. I will not damage anything inside. This is the right. This is like ಎಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿರ್ತೀರ ನೀವು, ನಾವು ಏನು ನೋಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ ಅದೇ ಹೇಳಿ. Tell me what is your opinion on deal? Deal. Business, it can be any deal. I supply you XYZ material for this number of months, and you have to produce at this particular rate. Discount. Lease, okay. Lease is also okay. I use this property for X number of years. Okay, this is the rate I am going to pay. This is the lease agreement. Okay, boss. Last, what is your opinion? ಏನು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ ರಜಾ? ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಕೇಳಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದ್ಸರಿ ಆದ್ರೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ. ಸುಪಾರಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ? Super is the other word. See, rowdies, they use these type of words. Super is. What is super is? That's bidder raja. See, legally we use the lawyers. What we use is contract. In rowdy people, they use the word supari. मतलब किसी को मारने का काम. Supari is also one of the type of the contracts only. Right? I get into a contract. We have been listening, but we are not understanding. ಹೇಳ ರಜಾ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್. ಏನು ಹೇಳು? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನಿದೆ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳ್ರಗ, ಯಾವ್ದಾದ್ರು ಭಾಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳು. ಏನೇನ ನೀ ಬಾಯ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೇಳು, ನಾನು ನೀ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಕೇಳಬೇಕು. ಐ ಆಮ್ ವೆರಿ ಈಗರ್ಲಿ ಟು ಲಿಸನ್ ಯು. ಹೇಳು, ಏನು ಯು ಟೆಲ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್. ನೋ, ಐ ವಾಂಟ್ ಯು ಟು ಪೀಪಲ್ ಟು ಸ್ಪೀಕ್. ಹೇಳು, ಏನು ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಹೇಳು. ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ ವರ್ಡ್? ವೇರ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಯು ಲಿಸನ್ ದಿಸ್ ವರ್ಡ್? ನೀ ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ ತಾನೆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್? ಅವ್ ಅಡುಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಮದ್ವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್. ನೀನ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇಳಿದ್ಯಾ? ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಎಲ್ಲೂ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ವಾ ಲೈಫಲ್ಲಿ? ನೀ ಹೆದರ್ಕೋಬೇಡಪ್ಪ. ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಇಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಿವ್ ಸೆಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, ವಿ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ಕಮಿಂಗ್. ನನ್ಗೇನೋ ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಗೊತ್ತು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಐ ಆಮ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಲೈಕ್ ಯು, ಬಟ್ ಐ ಆಮ್ ಲಿಟಲ್ ಸೀನಿಯರ್ ಟು ಯು ಪೀಪಲ್. ದಟ್ಸ್ ಇಟ್. My concern is you all to have to learn here. We are coming here to enrich your knowledge. This 1 hour, let us be more interactive. ನೀ ಹೇಳಿ ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ನಿನ್ ವರ್ಡ್ ಏನು? ಗೊತ್ತೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ವಾ? ಏನೇನ? ಏನ ವೆಹಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟಾ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಬಾಡಿಗೆ ಗಾಡಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋಣ ಓಕೆ ಗುಡ್ okay this is all I want to see did you yellow now ಕೇಳಿದೀವಿ we have been listening this word but we don't know that it is pardon life insurance yes see that is coming to special contracts I will discuss that later but somewhere every day in day out of our life we using this type of words okay but we are getting more knowledge now once we read this contract okay importance ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದೊಂದೇ ವಿಷಯ ಬಗ್ಗೆ so Indian Contract Act is a very very important everybody should know this okay so let us understand what is defined in the law what the law says actually contract is the most usual method of dealing the rights and duties in a business contract see a contract can be between two or more persons see we enter into there should be minimum two parties ಒಬ್ಬನಿಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಸೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ನಾನೇ ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ there should be minimum two parties okay, first thing second this contract we have certain rights and duties both have the certain rights and duties once we get into a contract from this particular date to this particular date we are bound to do this xyz of work and this is the payment I am making to xyz payment so this is the time bound period where two parties coming together to execute certain work to agreed rate for a certain period of time once that mission is complete once the project is complete we both are coming out the contract gets closed clear idondu sort of short term period or it can be a long term period where the two parties coming together okay they are agreeing to a certain conditions terms and conditions for certain period of time for certain amount once that amount is done deal is done we are going out okay this is what the contract means now let us get into the definition part as per section 2 clause h 2 clause h of the Indian Contract Act agreement contract an agreement which is enforceable by law they have defined what is contract here everybody this is the smallest definition this is the smallest definition of the contract as per section 2 clause h everybody should repeat it along with me section 2 clause h h no it's not clause 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 h for horse as per section 2 clause h 2 clause h contract is an agreement enforceable by law an agreement enforceable by law so ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು see this contract definition as per section 2 clause h there are two important words which we need to understand one is the word agreement we should understand the word agreement we need to understand the word enforceable by law okay these are the two key words which we need to understand word by word now we have understood what is the contract contract is an agreement which is enforceable by law okay ಎರಡು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಒಂದು agreement ಇನ್ನೊಂದು enforceable by law now what is agreement they have defined under section 2 clause e they have defined what is agreement they have defined what is agreement every person and a set of promises every promise and every set of promise forming the consideration for each other to have an insight into the definition of agreement we need to understand the section promise see promise andre ಏನಪ್ಪ promise in the childhood days we used to tell promise I'll get you that ಭಾಷೆ ಕೊಡೋದು see these are the terms which we have been using in your childhood promise is something which I will keep up my words promise I'll do my we have term agreed this we'll do that so they have defined what is promise also in section 2 clause b they have defined what is the word promise when the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent thereto the proposal is said to be accepted Proposal when accepted becomes a promise. Okay, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೂರ್ನಾಲ್ಕು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ ವಿಷಯ. ಒಂದು ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನ್ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡ್ವಿ. Now once we have to understand the word, ಆ ಕಾಂಟ್ರಾಕ್ಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಎರಡು ಭಾಗ ಆಯ್ತು. ಒಂದು ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅನ್ನೋದಾಯ್ತು, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಎನ್ಫೋರ್ಸಿಬಲ್ ಬೈ ಲಾ. Now to understand, now let us understand two parts, agreement and enforceable by law. Now we are understanding the first part, agreement. Agreement andre ಏನು? When we saw the definition of section 2 clause E, the definition of agreement is every promise and every set of promises forming the consideration for each other. Forming consideration for each other. This is the definition as per Indian contract. ಈ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ ವರ್ಡ್ ಅನ್ನು they have introduced. In agreement, they use the word every promise and every set of promises forming consideration for each other is considered as agreement. But ಇಲ್ಲಿ promise ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ಹೊಸ word is. We need to understand the word promise. They have defined what is promise. To understand section 2 clause E, we need to understand section 2 clause B. They have defined what is promise. What is promise? They have defined under section 2 clause B. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies us to the proposal is said to be accepted. Proposal when accepted becomes a promise. Proposal when it accepts becomes a promise. Okay. ಇವಾಗ ಈ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ನ ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ there are two persons. Simple. There is a boy and a girl. A boy makes a proposal to a girl. Okay. Let us understand the proposal. She makes. See, the boy is making a proposal. I want to love. This is one proposal he is giving. To make it simpler to understand the concept, I want to make the concept clear. See, there is something which we call it as, we are discussing on the agreement. Okay, what he is saying? He is saying what is promise. He says promise when the boy proposes and makes his signifies his assent that he is telling I want to make love for you. This is an accent. He is making an assent. I want to make a love. The proposal is said to be accepted. When the girl says accept, okay, I accept. When the girl says accepted, okay, then the proposal is accepted, becomes a promise. Clear? This is the promise aspect. ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಸಿಂಪಲ್ ಹುಡುಗರಿಗೆ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸರಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಇದನ್ನ ನಾಲ್ಕು ಭಾಗ ಮಾಡೋಣ. See the word promise, let us divide that into 4 parts. Promise. Agreement ಅಲ್ಲಿ word promise ಅಂತ ಬಂತು. Every promise and every set of promises forming consideration for each other ಅಂತ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಅಗ್ರಿಮೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಡೆಫಿನೈ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ ಎರಡು ಸೆಕ್ಷನ್ 2 ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಈ ಪ್ರಕಾರ. What is agreement? Every promise and every set of promises forming consideration to each other. ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಅವ್ರು ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡಿ. But to understand what is promise, we need to refer one more section. Section 2 clause B. Section 2 clause B. ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋದಾಗ ಪ್ರಾಮಿಸ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನಂತ ಡಿಫೈನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. When the person to whom the proposal is made signifies his assent, the proposal is said to be accepted. When the proposal is accepted, proposal when accepted becomes a promise. ಏನಪ್ಪ ರಜಾ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಮನ ಇಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿದ್ಯಾ? ಇದುವರೆ ಹಾಕಿಸ್ಬೇಕು ಮನೆ. So the following points is emerges, defines the word. See, we need to understand ಇದು actually wrong positioning ಆಯ್ತು. ಆಯ್ತಾ? ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ಯಾ? ಓಕೆ, ಇವಾಗ 5 ನಿಮಿಷ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಕೊಟ್ಬಿಡ್ಲಾ? ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬನ್ನಿ. ಯು ಗೋ ಅಂಡ್ ಕಮ್, ಯು ಗೆಟ್ ದ ಅಪ್ಡೇಟ್ ರಾ ಲೆಟ್. ಏನಾಯ್ತು? ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕ್ಷಣಕ್ಷಣದ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಏನಾಯ್ತು ರಾಜಾ? ಏನ್ ವಿಷಯ ಅಂತ? हाँ. है ना ಇಬ್ರು ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ ಓಕೆ
They are very late.